Errol Spence Jr. has just confirmed that he will retire after his match in November. Rumors about his retirement have been swirling ever since his loss to Terence Crawford last year, but no one took them seriously since it was his only loss so far. However, it has been a year since his last fight, and people couldn't stop talking about it. Now, Errol has finally cleared the air. Spence's decision to retire has sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Fans and analysts alike are trying to make sense of why one of the sport's biggest stars would walk away. Some speculate that the brutal loss to Crawford shook his confidence, while others believe he simply wants to leave the sport on his own terms. Whatever the reason, Spence's final fight in November is bound to be a monumental event. Let's take a look.
Right here on First Take. I believe that Errol Spence Jr. should consider retiring. That's how bad that ass was. Let me explain why.
One loss.
And I'm getting ready to go to that. It's how you lose, and it's what he's been through. Oscar De La Hoya is the one who deserves the most prop. And I know Swagoo is not in this segment with me, but I know he's listening. Oscar De La Hoya deserves props. Oscar De La Hoya was the one that tweeted before the fight to remind us all there was a car accident that Errol Spence Jr. was in 2019.
Yep.
The Ferrari turned over numerous times. He was ejected from the vehicle because he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. And they tried to say there was no facial fractures or anything like that. But his jaw and his teeth had major, major damage, okay?
The boxing world is buzzing with debates and speculations following recent remarks by Terence Crawford about Errol Spence Jr.'s possible retirement and a potential fight with Canelo Alvarez. Crawford, known for his knockout skills and athletic prowess, shared his thoughts on these potential rivals, sparking much discussion among fans and analysts. There's been a lot of talk about whether Errol Spence Jr. will retire, especially after his recent layoff due to an accident. Crawford, always ready to address tough topics, spoke about Spence's situation with a mix of empathy and competitiveness, showing true sportsmanship. The possibility of a fight between Crawford and Spence has long excited boxing fans, as both fighters have impressive records and titles. However, this dream match depends on whether Spence decides to retire or continue his career. Crawford made it clear that he is ready and eager to face Spence in the ring, regardless of the retirement rumors. Fans are eagerly awaiting Spence's decision, hoping to see these two boxing greats compete. Despite showing sympathy for Spence's situation, Crawford's fighting spirit remains undeterred. In addition to his interest in fighting Spence, Crawford is also eyeing a bout with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, a four-weight world champion, is known for his incredible skills and has a fierce reputation in the ring. While many boxers might be intimidated by Canelo, Crawford seems unfazed and is eager to take on this formidable opponent. This potential matchup has fans excited and looking forward to the possibility of seeing Crawford and Canelo face off in the ring. Terence "Bud" Crawford has taken a bold stance by expressing his willingness to fight Canelo Alvarez. Canelo is known for his powerful upper body strength and weight advantage, making this a daring challenge for Crawford. However, facing tough opponents is what defines Crawford's career. He has already moved up from 135 to 147 pounds, proving his ability to adapt and showcase his strength. Crawford's confidence in fighting a bigger opponent like Canelo has generated a lot of excitement in the boxing community. If this fight happens, it would be a significant event. Canelo usually competes between 160 and 168 pounds, so Crawford would have to gain more weight to match him. Crawford's readiness to take on such a challenge shows his fierce determination and has earned him many fans. While it's uncertain if these anticipated fights will happen, Crawford is clearly ready for any challenge. His competitive spirit and empathetic attitude embody the true essence of boxing. To face challenges, conquer them, and show respect. In conclusion, whether it's a fight against Errol Spence Jr. or a match with Canelo Alvarez, Crawford remains focused and prepared. Boxing fans around the world are eagerly waiting to see what happens next. The fighter's tenacity and courage continue to make boxing an unpredictable and thrilling sport for everyone involved.
And the counter, right hook, the left to right, Errol Spence on inline skates, and the referee has intervened. Mamma mia! Terence "Bud" Crawford has made history!
Errol the Truth. Spence Jr. has been out of action since his long-awaited fight with Terence Crawford last July. Fans had eagerly anticipated this matchup for years, but when it finally happened, it wasn't close. Crawford dominated Spence Jr., scoring multiple knockdowns throughout the fight. In the 9th round, the bout was stopped, marking Spence Jr. Paz's first career defeat and a historic win for Crawford. After this loss, many speculated that Spence Jr. might retire. The beating he took seemed like it could be career-ending, but Spence Jr. remained determined. Just weeks after the defeat, he activated his rematch clause to face Crawford again. However, it's been months since any news about the rematch surfaced. This silence could partly be due to the closure of Showtime Boxing, but Spence Jr. also had other matters to address. Earlier this week, he revealed he had undergone eye surgery. This led to further retirement speculation, but Spence Jr. quickly shut down those rumors. He made it clear that he is not retiring, despite the tough loss to Crawford. Spence Jr. acknowledged that he didn't live exactly like a boxer in the lead-up to the fight, but remains focused on returning to the ring. Despite the challenges and setbacks, Spence Jr. is determined to continue his boxing career and face Crawford once again. Fans remain hopeful and eagerly await updates on this highly anticipated rematch. Spence Jr. recently posted on social media that he might retire after his next fight in October against WBC junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundora. At 34 years old, Spence, with a record of 28, 1 and 22 knockouts, could continue his career if he wins against Fundora, as there would be many exciting options for him, including potential pay-per-view mega fights. However, the exact plan for Spence is unclear. Fighting Fundora won't bring him as much money as he could earn against other top fighters. If Spence wins, he could possibly face Terrence Crawford in a rematch, giving him a chance to redeem himself. Crawford aims to become the undisputed champion at 154 pounds, which means he would need to go through Spence if Spence wins the WBC title from Fundora. Another potential opponent for Spence could be Ryan Garcia, assuming Garcia isn't dealing with a lengthy suspension from a recent PED issue in April. Spence's decision to retire might depend on the outcome of his fight against Fundora. If he loses to the tall WBC 154-pound champion, it would be understandable for him to consider retirement. Spence hasn't looked his best in his last 2 fights and has faced long periods of inactivity and several injuries. Being out of the ring for extended periods has affected his sharpness, which was more apparent earlier in his career. The injuries, 2 car accidents, and weight gain have also contributed to his struggles. Earlier, ESPN revealed that Spence is negotiating a fight against Fundora, with a record of January 1st, 21 and 13 knockouts, scheduled for October at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Fundora, standing at 6 of 5.5, will be a tough challenge for Spence, especially since Spence is coming off a 15-month layoff and recent eye surgery. Additionally, Spence will need to lose weight to make the 154-pound limit. Spence looked quite large when he stood for photos after Fundora's victory over WBO junior middleweight champion Tim Tszyu last March at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. It would be wise for Spence to start losing weight early, so his training camp doesn't become a rushed effort to cut down to 154 pounds. Despite media personalities and Errol Spence Jr. himself suggesting at retirement, do you think he will retire? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more news.